Hello everyone. Today my topic is my subject is biochemistry. What is my subject? Biochemistry. Biochemistry. And my topic is carbohydrate. What is my topic? Carbohydrate. What is carbohydrate? Carbohydrate is carbon-based molecule. Carbohydrate is what? Carbon-based molecule and attached with many hydroxy group and many hydroxy group present in there. You can get a book definition, is very good book definition you can get from the books, but I'm giving you basic idea what is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is a carbon-based molecule and many hydroxy group, means OH is present in there. And what is the formula for carbohydrate? The formula for carbohydrate is CnH2CH2ON. CH2N. That means what? For example, if your number of in 4 in here, that means what it's going to be C4. If you multiply 2 into 4, is going to be 8O4. If there is a 6 in there, for example, if there is a 6 in here, for example, if there is a 6, it would be C6H12O6. Okay, so I'll more focus on today's topic is what? Fisher projection of many simple sugar like glucose, mannose, galactose and fructose. So I'll explain you how you can draw the Fisher projection of glucose and isomers. What is the different kind of isomers? So for example, I have a D-glucose and what happened? D-mannose, D-galactose and D-fructose. So D-glucose Fisher projection I'll draw for you. Okay. This is the structure of glucose, and this is on what in Fisher projection. So Fisher projection look right now. You can write this is basically like that, and this is aldehyde. Why this one is aldehyde? Because your double bond O carbon is attached with hydrogen. So if this one is attached with hydrogen, that means this is aldehyde. And aldehyde, you do know that aldehyde always is number 1. This carbon is always number 1. This is 2, and this carbon is 3, this carbon is 4, and this carbon is 5, and this carbon is 6. This is the numbering of aldehyde. And right now I'll draw for you D-mannose. D-mannose, if I draw with color, it will be very easier for you to understand. And HOH, HOH, HOH. Okay, what is the difference you can see in your eyes? There is the only the difference is carbon number 2. In carbon number 2 there is a difference. What? Before in D-glucose OH is on the right side. You see that this OH is in the right side, but right now D-mannose OH is on the left side. What is called the asymmetrical? Symmetrical means what is the, you know, the what is the symmetrical is the same kind of thing, but this carbon is not this carbon number 2 is asymmetrical carbon. Yes, this carbon is in this carbon, the difference is this carbon, the OH bond is on the right side, but in this carbon number 2 OH is in the left side. So this is called, what is the isomer of this one? Why this one and this one is isomer? Because this D-glucose molecular formula is C6H12O6. C6H12O6 the molecular formula for D-glucose, and also D-mannose molecular formula is C6H12O6. Means what? Same number of carbon, same number of hydrogen, same number of oxygen. Same thing for D-mannose is same number of carbon, same number of hydrogen, same number of oxygen. The only difference is called epimeric difference. How the epimeric difference? This is the isomer, but what is the specific name of this isomer? This epimeric difference. What is this epimeric difference? The epimeric difference for this carbon and this carbon is in carbon number 2, but other things is same. Look, OH is in the left side. In this carbon also OH in the left side. This carbon OH is in the right side. This carbon OH is in the right side. This carbon this one is OH is in the right side. D-glucose also OH is in the right side for this carbon. So you see that everything is same except carbon number 2. What happened to carbon number 2? OH is in the right side. Right now OH is in the left side. The only difference is in here. So this is the difference. And if I ask you what is the epimeric difference between D-glucose and D-mannose? D-glucose and D-mannose epimeric difference is carbon number 2. Epimeric in carbon number 2. Epimeric in carbon number 2, and those things is called epimers. What is called the isomer name is what? Epimers. What is the isomer name of these two? Is called epimer. And the epimeric difference is carbon number 2. Right now let's talk about D-galactose. I'm trying to draw this one is with what red color, so you can very easily understand. So look right now, OH and this one is H. So look right now, what is the epimeric difference for D-mannose? Right now you do know how can you find out your epimeric difference, because how this is carbon number 1, this is carbon number 2, this is carbon number 3, this is carbon number 4, this is carbon number 5, this is carbon number 6. The only difference is in this one is carbon number 4. Carbon number 4 OH is in the right side, but in these cases in D-galactose is what? D-galactose is OH is in the left side. The difference is between what? This one and this one. The other things as like same as like a glucose. You see HOH in the same. This carbon is bond is also same, but only this carbon bond is different. What? OH comes in the left side and hydrogen the right side. So what is going to be answer here for D-glucose and D-galactose is going to be your epimeric in carbon number 4. 4, and those two is are what? Epimers. What are they? What kind of isomer they are? Epimers. What are they? Epimers. But and specific epimeric difference in carbon number 4 for D-glucose and D-galactose. Make sure I'm not talking about D-mannose and D-galactose. No, I'm just only talking about right now D-glucose and D-galactose. Before I talked about D-glucose and D-mannose. Right now I'm talking about D-glucose and D-galactose. Epimeric difference is D-glucose and D-galactose is carbon number 4, and D-glucose and D-mannose epimeric difference is carbon number 2. Right now, this is called epimer. This is what kind of isomers? They are epimers. And you do know that differences between them, and you also learned the open chain form of D-glucose, and you also learned open chain form of D-mannose, and you also learned open chain form of D-galactose. And what other things you learned? You also learned how you can draw the Fischer projection of D-glucose. You also know how you can draw the Fischer projection of D-mannose. You also know how you can draw the Fischer projection of D-galactose. Right now, I will draw for you D-fructose. But remember, D-fructose is not a epimer. And this epimer, and also one more thing, I'll tell you that D-glucose, D-mannose and D-galactose, they have a lot of asymmetrical carbon. They have a lot of asymmetrical carbon, but D-fructose is a less asymmetrical carbon. So I'll draw for you the D-fructose. How you can draw the D-fructose? You know D-fructose is going to be this is going to be here. So look right now, there is no this D-glucose and D-fructose, there is no epimeric difference, nothing, just only these three are. I'm just only talking about for D-fructose. Is what? I'll draw for you the Fischer projection of D-fructose. Fischer projection, and I'll also mention how you can numbering the D-fructose, because you do know this is aldehyde. These three things is aldehyde. They are aldehyde, and the isomer name is, they are epimers, but this one is not a aldehyde. This one is what? This is called a ketose. Ketone. There is what? Ketone. That means it's sugar. That's why it's ketose. So what happened to this one? Look right now. It's if I write for you ketone, you will understand very well. Ketone. So ketone is what? Your double bond carbon has to be, both side has to be what? Alkyl group. That means carbon attached. This double bond O carbon is, right side is carbon, left side is also carbon. So that's why this is a ketone. This is not anymore aldehyde, and because there is how aldehyde is, if there is a double bond carbon is hydrogen, but this double bond O carbon is, one is carbon, other side is also, left side and right side, both side is what? Carbon. So that's why this is a ketone, and this is called ketose because of sugar, and this is Fischer projection of D-fructose. This is the Fischer projection of D-fructose. Everything is same, you see, except this one has a no, this one. Why? Because this carbon has a more asymmetrical carbon, but this one has a less asymmetrical carbon. So I think you guys understand the Fischer projection of D-glucose, D-mannose and D-galactose, and you also learned these three are, they are epimers, and you also know the epimeric difference between D-glucose and D-mannose, epimeric difference between D-glucose and D-galactose, and you also learned the Fischer projection of what? D-fructose, and you also learned how you can number for this one. You can number right now. How? Okay, that numbering, I'll show you the easy technique. How? Look, this one, you are thinking why I'm not counting this one is number 1, why this one I'm counting number 1, because your goal is you're going to be lower the double bond O carbon. So think about it from this carbon. If you think this carbon is carbon number 1, that means this carbon is carbon number 2, this carbon is carbon number 2, this is carbon number 3, this is carbon number 4, this is carbon number 5. That means if you count from this side, is your double bond O carbon is you are increasing the number, but if you count from that side is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, second position, you are getting your what? You are getting your double bond O carbon. So that's why this is carbon number 1, this is carbon number 2, this is carbon number 3, this is carbon number 4, and this is carbon number 5. I hope you guys like my video, and if you really like my video, don't forget to share with your friend, and don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for watching my videos. Hopefully see you in the next video, and study hard.